I would like to speak on the issue of student loan debt and what this has exposed about the American economy. So, if you didn't know, student loan payments have been paused. They've been paused for some time now, more or less since the beginning of the pandemic, because people were unable to pay, because a lot of them lost their jobs, incomes, whatever else. And need I add that before the pandemic, a lot of people were still unable to pay. And need I remind you that because of one Joe Biden primarily, people are unable to declare bankruptcy on their student loan debt. But allow me to proceed. So student loan debt payments are paused, and they have been paused for a while now. In fact, we're going on almost 2 years, and they're set to be unpaused. I believe it's in early 2022, I think in January. But notice something. These payments have been paused. Nobody has been paying their student loan debts, and the country's still here. We still have a nation. Things haven't burnt to the ground. Do you know what this tells us? It's very simple. The government does not need our money. They don't need your money. If you're a person and you have student loan debts, however small or large that number may be, they don't need your money. They don't need you to pay that. It hasn't been paid for over a year, and everything seems to be a-okay. But no. They're going to have it resume early next year. This is abysmal. This is absolutely ridiculous behavior. I mean, just consider it for a second. It makes absolutely no sense. Knowing what we know, and we knew this, we knew that they didn't need the money. We knew that there was no real reason for plaguing the future labor force, college students, people that simply seek a higher education with so much debt, other than a means of control. And that goes for all debt, okay, mortgage debt, car debt, whatever, right? It's a means of control. It's a means of keeping regular people in their place. That's what it is. But if you were to free them of this debt, which Joe Biden has the ability to do, which the Secretary of Education has the ability to do, don't let mainstream media and Joe Biden, these corrupt politicians themselves, spew propaganda and, misguide your opinion on this issue. I mean, they've actually gotten rid of student loan debt. Joe Biden has. It's been an absolutely abysmal amount. I'm talking like 0.3%, but he has. So why can't you do it for everyone? Why can't you just get rid of it? Let's universalize college. Let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah, that sounds like a really good idea, but they're not. They're not. But what this pandemic exposed is that they do not need our money. Nobody has been paying for student loan debt, and the country hasn't went up in flames. And I saw a great tweet by Marianne Williamson that went as the following. She was like, because the people that say that we shouldn't abolish student loan debt, she gave the following example. So by that logic, you shouldn't legalize something like marijuana simply because people in the past have went to jail for it, and those people that went to jail for it, they'll feel bad. So you shouldn't legalize marijuana for people to come in the future, for them to enjoy. No, that's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the obvious clap back to that would be, okay, legalize marijuana and free the non-violent drug offenders. Free those people that are in jail right now because they had an ounce, a gram, however much marijuana on them. That's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. So it's the same for student loan debt. Erase student loan debt, and it'll be like a trickle up economics instead of a trickle down economics. Do you know what a boost to the economy that would be? I mean, people that otherwise wouldn't do certain things, they could now get that house, they could now get that car. They would stimulate the economy. They'd have much more freedom. Freedom. That's what debt does to you. It takes away your freedom. And that's one of the main purposes, in fact, maybe even the sole purpose that it serves. It's to keep you in control. And it's absolutely insane. And I mean, that argument can be used for a plethora of things. Slavery, for instance. Okay, so you're telling me by this same logic of student loan debt, we shouldn't have abolished slavery because people that came before us were slaves? So we should have kept every other black person in this country a slave because the former slaves would be upset. Yeah, it's very absurd. Look, The fact of the matter is we have a huge debt crisis in this country. We have several debt crises, but the one that I'm discussing in this video is the student loan debt crisis. We have about 45, 46 million people that hold $1.7 trillion in student loan debt. The cost of college in this country has exploded. It's absolutely ridiculous. It serves no real purpose but to keep people in check, to keep them in control. And we need to do something about this quick, fast, and in a hurry.